Hi, it's Annette and Mark with Carrying the Load. We just wanted to take a few minutes with you today and chat with you about what's going on in the world. It's been interesting as Mark and I have reflected the last couple days. In fact, this morning I said, "Oh, if you looked at the stock market, where are we at?" And there's some wisdom in preparation here that we want to just talk to you a little bit about, and how that helps ease the pain of days like today.
You know, the world is more polarized today than ever before because of the news. We watch the news and we see things that are happening not only in our own communities, but also throughout the country and throughout the world. We've watched how this coronavirus has taken the world by storm. And it's been very difficult as we've been wondering, boy, what kind of preparation do I need to have? Do I need to go out and buy, the big joke today is going out and buying toilet paper and water.
Well, at least in Utah, that's they're out. Everywhere is out. So we're glad we have our toilet paper and water.
But there's nothing wrong with preparation at the same time. You know, one of our thoughts here is that as we prepare, we put ourselves in a position where we don't have to worry as much.
Right.
It's something that as we do prepare, and as we not only prepare physically, it's also important to prepare emotionally. It's important to not put so much into what we're reading in the newspaper or watching on the television, because there is a lot of exuberance out there that may or may not be completely real.
You know, it's something that we have carried on years ago when we were living paycheck to paycheck. Part of our plan of getting out of that financial bondage and into the freedom that we were hoping for was preparing, and it was having having food storage. It was having some cash on hand. It was having a fund for a rainy day. And so that has given us, and especially me, comfort in knowing that I can prepare food and meals, and healthy food and meals for our family, and we'll be okay. And gratefully, Mark bought into that philosophy and helped me and helped our family to prepare. But so much of what he was talking about emotional, and it goes along with this too. And if we are prepared for these types of days that aren't going the way we had planned or we thought, then we're okay.
There's a lot of concern out in the world right now, and I hear it almost every single day from clients. Should I be selling my stocks? Should I be selling my mutual funds? What about my 401k? Does a drop in the stock market mean that I'm going to have to work an extra number of years? I don't know the answer to that question. It's going to be interesting to see what happens during the next few days and weeks, but I am very optimistic. You know, I think back of what Thomas Paine once said. If you remember Thomas Paine in your history, he was one that lived during the times of the American Revolution. He was a noted author. He had two papers that were very popular at the time. One was called The Crisis. And The Crisis was a paper that started out with these words, and you've heard them before. These are the times that try men's souls. But he also went on in that paper to talk about the importance of being optimistic, recognizing that through perseverance and fortitude, we would have the prospect of a better time. And we today would have that same message for you as well, about the importance of doing what is necessary in order to make sure that the decisions that we're making for ourselves and for our families are the right decisions.
I love that. One of the things that will help all of us in this crisis is our dailies. Are we taking time to meditate? Are we exercising? Are we reading good books? You know, turn off the news. That's the fear. That's the crisis. And for me, it helps to just turn that off, to go back to those daily things that bring me the peace. And so that's the one thing I would recommend, along with being patient and not making a knee-jerk reaction to what's happening in the world, but just go on and prepare and think about things that lie ahead, which I believe are going to be wonderful.
But you know, at the same time, Annette, it's also a good time to reflect on where we are with certain aspects of our life. Have you ever noticed in life that when things aren't quite going the way they should be, that we make decisions maybe more so then than other times, maybe when life is good. It's during these times that we really need to be making decisions based upon not only what's happening today, but maybe what's going to happen tomorrow as well.
Oh, I agree completely. This happens more frequently than we might think, whether it's a health crisis or it's a financial crisis or anything that kind of stirs the pot for us. And so one of the things that I have thought a lot about this morning is my business and our business and how it can continue to help people and to continue to point people that and help them to realize that they're on the right path and that it's okay. And so please don't hesitate to ask questions in the comments, and we'll get to them as soon as we can, but look forward with hope.
Can I ask you a couple of questions, Annette?
Oh, sure.
I'm curious from what you're seeing with people that you're talking with. As I talk to customers, I'm finding that many of them have no idea what it's going to take for them to live maybe a little bit better as with their finances. And I see people wondering, how am I going to have the resources necessary when I do decide to retire? And am I going to be able to retire at 65? Is it going to be later than that? Baby boomers today are retiring. Social Security says that those that are born around the 1960 to 65 area will be retiring at about 67 years old. But at the same time, we're also finding that those people are going to be living probably another 30 years. So, Annette, my questions to you would probably be this. First of all, how can someone optimize their income opportunities through a small business?
Well, first off, it's residual income. And so once we are building this income and we build our business and we do want to retire, the income continues to come in because it is our business that we created. And so we're the owners of that, and we're not passing those profits on to corporate. So that's one thing that I love about having a home-based business. Another thing I love about it is, quite honestly, there are wonderful tax benefits to having a home-based business. And the other part of this is, I know the more diligent and the smarter I work, the greater the return. And that's exciting for me because there's no one to get upset with how things are going on. That's just how it is. And so I get to be creative. I have had so fun the last few weeks as I've been learning some new things and learning some tools that will help me and my business, but also help those of you who are joining our team and allow you to be successful in your business.
I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly, and it's going to come across that way here. But the one concern I have is that we don't prepare very well. And as I've been watching a lot of our customers there, I see people that are in a position where they haven't prepared well, and because of that, they're beginning to panic. Can I offer a suggestion? First of all, be very, very careful that you don't put yourself in a bad situation emotionally, because these are the times that do try our souls, and these are the times that if we're not careful, we won't be able to keep the perspective that we need to have. I look at some of the basic rocks and foundational tools that we talk about in our courses there. Number one, making sure that we have an adequate budget. Number two, making sure that we're frugal with the assets and the money that we do have. We're talking today more about our third rock, which is preparation. Number four is discipline, and number five, as Annette's been talking about, is income maximization. But don't be like an ostrich and keep your head in the sand. Make sure that you are very aware of your surroundings, not only with your money, but also with your health and other situations. Take care of yourself, but more than anything else, make sure that you are believing for a better day. Optimism is a very, very important tool to any success, whatever it might be.
You're exactly right. Another thing I'd like to point out in these 5 rocks that we have, in our budgeting rock, there is an actual category for a rainy day fund. And so we were able to prepare, not only were we paying off debt, but we were preparing at the same time for a day like today. And so we had that preparation, and we were able to build that. And so that helped a lot. But back to Mark's comment about being optimistic, that's important for all of us. And so find those things, those tools that work for you when you get stressed. don't forget to take care of yourself. I love the fact that in part of my preparation, I have things that will help me with my health. And I don't need to worry about whether it's going to be available at the pharmacy. And so that's another thing that brings peace in my preparation. I have prepared in many ways. And just like Mark said, it's not just a financial thing. And so find those tools that will allow you to have the peace in the preparation.
We do look forward to a better time ahead. Don't get caught up in the news of the day there. If you do, you're going to put yourself in a much worse situation. Like Thomas Paine said, make sure that you recognize that by perseverance and fortitude, we do have the prospect of a better time. We look forward to talking to you again. We look forward to a better time ourselves here, but in the meantime, please take care of yourselves.